180!
So Luke, just thinking about this performance, you go out there at an MSG crowd, you win this tournament. So like when you look at just the atmosphere you played in tonight, what do you make of like this environment, playing in the United States and winning this tournament?
Yeah, it was really special. I thought the crowd yesterday were just as good. You know, they're absolutely fantastic. I don't know the figure. I think it's like 3,000 people. But the exciting fact for us is if you can 3,000-4,000 people, if you can treble or quadruple that, I can't imagine you're going to create one of the best atmospheres that dart's ever seen. So it's exciting for us as players to know that we can grow it over here, and next year if we can sell more, and then who knows, maybe go in the big arena. That's what I'm excited about. I think the American crowd's been absolutely amazing, and I really enjoyed my time over here.
And how important are tournaments like this to really grow the game in other parts of the world where not a lot of the big darts players come from, like to grow the game in the United States and other countries?
Yeah, it's massive. America's such a massive fan base for sport, and they've got so many great sports: baseball, American football, ice hockey, basketball. But we'd love to put darts along them lines, and I believe we can. It's going to take it's not going to be easy. You're not going to do it in 1 or 2 years. It's going to take many years. But I believe that if we can put it along them great sports that they already have, then it just gives Americans another sport they can enjoy, and we really enjoy coming here. I love America to bits, and I've been here many times, but it's really special for me to win here as well.
And just looking at the final, you mentioned it with Aspinall after the match. You said that darts is better when he's in the sport, and he makes you better. What is it about him that makes you better, and what is it about him that makes the sport better?
Just because he's one of the nicest guys. He's one of my best friends on tour. I know it's biased of me to say that it's better with him here, but he is. Everyone knows that. He's such a credit to the sport, and you see that with the amount of support that he got from the crowd. And he's had a few injuries over the last 2-3 years, and it's not nice to see as a friend. And it's just nice to see him back playing fluent and just the way he can. I was very fortunate tonight. I managed to miss a few doubles here and there, and he let me off in moments. I let him off in moments, but he just makes me want to be better, and we always seem to have really good games, and that's why I meant to the fact of it's really nice to see him back playing like he can.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, this was the one that you wanted more than anything. How does it feel that you've got your hands on it and winning here?
Oh, this is the real special one for me on the World Series. This is the biggest one. This is always going to be the most iconic venue I think darts will ever go to or I'll ever play at. I don't see it getting any more iconic than Madison Square Gardens. It's, in my opinion, one of the top 3 or 5 best venues in the world. So, they're very special. It's one I've always wanted to win. When I come here 2 years ago, it's my 3rd time now. I always dreamt of winning this one. So when I finally won it tonight, it was an amazing relief, and to have that, it's a great trophy. It looks great, and for me as someone who loves America anyway, it felt really special. So having my mum and dad here, obviously that makes it extra as well.
Well, you touched on it. So we saw your mum and dad there. What does it mean to win in New York in front of them? I know your dad's followed you everywhere, but to have both parents here, what does that mean?
Yeah, it means the world. They said to me earlier, and they said, we don't want to jinx you, but they've been to every tournament that I've won this year, but they haven't seen me lose. And my dad said, I don't want to jinx you, but he kind of didn't, did he? He's right again, he's been at every single major except for the UK Open that he weren't there that I've won. So the Masters, the Premier League in Leeds, NXO was there, the Premier League Finals was there, the Masters. He's been at everything I've won this year. I don't think that plays on my mind or makes me think that I'm unbeatable when they're there. But it's strange, isn't it, how I seem to win when he's always there, and they don't want to miss these special moments. So it's really lovely to have them there by my side. It's been a great week, regardless win or lose. It was always going to be a good week, but to take the trophy home, it's kind of extra special for us all.
We've seen you grimacing in pain all evening at some points. How have you managed to produce this with obviously what could be quite a serious injury?
Yeah. I mean, my thumb is incredibly swollen. It's all around here. It's I'll show you off camera. It's just all swollen, and it's hard to play through. I was struggling with the grip. I couldn't hold my thumb in the same position. And I don't want to make it all about that, because obviously I've won the title. I don't want it to all be the headlines about me having an injury. But yeah, the guy when he pulled my hand back, he really hurt it. He's obviously hurt it. So I'm gonna have to go home and get it x-rayed and stuff. I don't think it's broken because it doesn't hurt to squeeze it, but there could be something in it. So, but I got a couple of weeks off now. I think the next time I play will be in Kiel, which is it's 2 weeks away. So I've got plenty of time. It's not broken. That's the main thing. But it's not in good shape. It's incredibly swollen. So for me, kind of surprised myself. Like I said earlier on the stage, when I got in here, I was just thinking, just get through the first game, and that'd be a blessing in disguise for me. And then obviously I beat Gezi at half-hearted, and then when I was in that final, I said to my family, I'm just going to give it everything. I'm just going to, if I injure my hand up on the final, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Just give everything. And I tried my best, and it was good enough. So, yeah, really, really pleased. But I don't want the injury to hamper the fact that I actually won the trophy. But I was not, wasn't at my best, but I managed to win. So,
Luke, many congratulations as always.
thank you, Phil.
Luke, that walk-on, I wanted to ask you about that because kind of something different happened there where you were fully called and they're still singing Mr. Brightside. Was that kind of something you didn't expect to happen there?
No, I've experienced that many times in the Premier League, so to be honest, it's definitely, we always get asked, what's the best walk-on? It is that one. It's amazing, and I wish I'd have nabbed that one before he did, to be honest, but he's got a fantastic walk-on. He's loved widely around the world because of the nice guy and the amazing person that he really is. And I just, like I said earlier on in the interview, I love sharing the stage with him. He's a credit to the sport, and it's lovely to see him playing freely and thoroughly. He's had an amazing tournament. I think he was the best player in the US Darts Masters this year. Unfortunately, I just managed to nab him in the end to win the title. But when he's at his best, he's very dangerous, and he can join the likes of me, Luke, and Michael at the top of the sport. He's that good.
Well, when you went to that seventh leg, or that seventh, when you put your seventh leg on board, we heard you say, or literally saw you say, just need one more leg here. Let's do it. That just shows you that Nathan was coming back and making a pretty good pressure on you there. At the end of the day, what does it mean here, man? Just to lift the title at MSG is it's got to be up there for elite, for you to kiss the dart at the end and give it a go.
Yeah, like I said on stage, I've won world championships, match plays, Premier Leagues, Masters, all these big titles, but it kind of felt like I just won another major, to be honest. I know it's not, it's a World Series event, but for me, winning in America, it feels like a major, to be honest. It's never going to go on my CV as one, but that's how big it is. You're in one of the biggest sporting countries in the world, and to play your sport in their country, to win in it, it's very special. And then we're playing in the most iconic venue for me. You add all that up, it's very, very special. And you see the just the relief in the end. I just desperately wanted that to go in. And usually there's been many major titles where I've thrown with proper resilience, but I was desperate for it just to drop in, and it finally did. And it was a full of emotion, to be honest. Honestly, I can't put it to words. It feels so special right now. It really does. This was the one, I think, on the World Series that I wanted to win. It was like the Premier League. I wanted to win that desperately, and I managed to just keep ticking off these achievements that I've always dreamed of. So I don't know. I'm on cloud nine.
One more for you, and it's a little out there. Could we see a major in the States in the next 5 years?
By the way the crowd were to this weekend, 110%. Yeah, I generally believe that. I think let's not walk before we can run, but I believe that the way the crowd were this weekend, and a lot of players said it, there's 3,000 or 4,000 people in there, you're creating better environments than we have on Premier League nights of 8,000-10,000. I think that there's a major coming in the next 2 or 3 years, or next 4 or 5 years here. I don't know what one that will be, but we have to have the support from the American crowd and be like, we really love it, we want to come. If the support's there, Barry and Matt, we'll bring it in. We're more than happy to come here for big major tournaments. So, I honestly, hand on heart, believe that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years that will generally happen.
Appreciate your time. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Luke, congratulations first and foremost. We had actually record selling tickets tonight, over 4,000 sold. Standing room only, really, in some places. It seems like the next step, right, is those big venues above. Is that something that you're ready for?
Yeah, that's what we want. We want the big venue. We're so blessed to have the theatre, the Hulu Theatre, but we want. Is it still called the Hulu Theatre? Yeah.
No, just the theatre.
Oh, just the theatre. So just the theatre. We're blessed to have it there, but my God, we would love to have it in the big arena, but. Like I keep saying, we have to have the support from the Americans to come and allow us to be able to hire the venues and stuff, because it's expensive. And, I was at a Rangers game in NHL last year, and when they scored, it's an insane atmosphere. And I'd love to experience that in my time, come and experience a 15, 16, 17, 18,000 American crowd in their full voice. What they showed this weekend just proves that they really are enjoying it. So yeah, it's great to see the numbers are up and we're getting bigger and better, and next year hopefully even bigger, and then who knows, we can get to that big arena. That's what we all dream of.
It is what we all dream of, including
Yeah.
us that are here trying to do that on this level, man. Let's talk about timing real quick. You only had 4 180s in the final, but 2 of them were starting off the last 2 legs that you needed to win. How do you bottle that up and just perform?
Yeah, I think I'm really good at the timing. Sometimes my timing's really awful and I hit the wrong score at the wrong time and allow my opponent to come back at me, and it really annoys me. But one thing about my game I have got is I'm really good at hitting the right score at the right time, and that 142 was a massive shot because I needed it. I needed something to boost me up because I felt a bit down, a little bit deflated. I felt like Nathan was coming back at me, making it hard for me, and then that really boosted me up again, making me feel like, okay, now you're 6-5 up here, you've hit a big shot, he feels it, he might be feeling a bit of the pressure now, but yeah, a couple of great shots, a couple of good 180s, and it really dragged me over the line. But yeah, I've got that good shot on me when I need to. But I suppose when you get to 1-on-1, you have to have them big shots in you at the right time.
Well, Luke, congratulations. You showed your bottle today.
Thank you very much.
I have one. Just want to follow up to something earlier. So you did clearly say one more leg. You go hold break to win. Obviously, you drop that last leg, you're still an insider, you have the throw. Did it feel different, would you, going into that this time because of the pain, because of the length of the match? Was it just different for you needing to win, needing that break in that moment?
Yeah, well, I felt like in the game in the semi-finals, it felt like it was no lose, to be honest. I felt like I'd come into the room with obviously the swollen thumb, and I thought, if I can get through that first game against Danny, then I've not come here and gone on out in a whimper. But when I won that, then you get in the Gezi game, and I missed them darts in the first leg. Felt a little bit deflated from it, but he didn't play well, and I managed to take a little bit of inspiration. I kept getting the big lead, and I won the game. Then I'm thinking, I feel very fortunate now to be in the final, but you have to give it everything. And I got into a great lead. Probably should have been 5-1 up. I know he missed darts, but I probably could have been 5-1 up. And he come back at me. But yeah, I was just saying to myself, one big leg can change everything now. The massive break when it's the nitty gritty, the tough moment, it can change the game. So yeah, I think there was a couple of moments where I give the initiative back to him. But yeah, that the last when it's 5 of them last 5 legs, I showed a lot of grit and determination when I was really trying and struggling to get a grip of the game.
Congratulations, Luke.
Thank you very much.
Luke, just curious, you talk about how good Nathan has been. He had that big bullseye finish, the crowd seemed to be on his side. What goes through your head? How do you compose yourself knowing that he's kind of creeping up on the doorstep, the crowd's behind him?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough. I'm used to the crowd being against me. When you're the top player in the world, one of the top players, people want to see the underdog win. So of course, it's really, really tough. Everyone, just wants. They're not aggressively want to see you lose, but they want the underdog to win. So of course, I'm used to that feeling, and it doesn't bother me. I knew that bullseye was going to go in. It happened to me a couple of times yesterday against Stowe. I'm on a double. I'm thinking, I just know it's going in, and you kind of feel like it's a double-headed facade. You think it's going in because if it goes in, you thought, well, I knew that was going to happen. If it don't go in, you're thinking, okay, well, it didn't happen. I'm fortunate. So I think you try and put on the front and expect it to happen, and if it don't, then you're thinking, okay, well, my luck's in. So, but yeah, I'm so experienced now to not let them things affect me. Of course, I felt a bit nervy up there, but that's because I was desperate to win this great trophy. And when you're winning big titles and big trophies like this, you do feel the nerves, no matter who you are.
And just one last question, kind of different from the game itself. How is it playing in front with George Noble and Russ Spray refereeing? George Noble announcing that he's retiring at the end of the year, Russ Spray only coming back for certain events like the World Series?
Yeah, I mean, totally off darts subject. We're very blessed to have had 2 of the best callers in the world to have blessed our sport. Russ, it's still great to see him still doing this kind of thing. He's lived an incredible life, being a part of the PDC for many, many years, and we're still very lucky to have him on the World Series as well. And obviously George, he's a very close friend of mine because obviously we're in the same management, and it's very sad to see him go, to be honest. In my opinion, he's one of the best callers that we've ever seen, along with Russ. But there has to come a time where people have to retire, and he can't do it forever. He's got a family, and he probably wants to see his kids and his wife, and he's doing the right thing for him. But it'll be sad to see him go. I know he'll probably do the world final, and I'm hoping I can win that world final to share the stage like I did with Russ, because I won his last one, and I won the last one with George as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.